Hello, welcome to my pick a card reading. We are going to talk about what is next for you in love. Now, this reading is geared towards single people, so people who are out of a relationship or maybe they're like in a situationship or whatever. We're going to look at what's next for them, but if you are in a relationship, this can also work for you. Not everything in your reading will resonate with you, and that's totally fine. Then that reading is not for you. But there should be messages in there, if you chose correctly and listened to your intuition, that will be calling to you. It's just for you to listen to them. Please remember the future is not set in stone. We all have free will. So please pick one of the cards. As you can see, there are 4 of them. Group number 1, group number 2, group number 3, and group number 4. Make sure you take as much time as you need to meditate. You can also pause this video if that helps, and then jump to the timestamp below so you can get straight into your reading. Don't forget to comment below if you like your reading and let me know what you think. Let's get started. Okay, group number 1, what is coming towards you in love? I'm very excited. Remember, this is for single people, but you could also be in a relationship. You might get something from this as well. But yeah, let's get started. So we have the Vessel, the Wise One reversed, and ooh, this is really exciting. Okay. So the Vessel is all about your physical body, right? I'm getting a lot of glow up vibes. Maybe this is the time where you're actually working out, you're getting in shape, you're actually focusing on your physical. Some of you might be hitting the gym. Some of you might be, really focusing on how you look, how you appear, but also treating yourselves better. A lot of the time when we're in relationships, we kind of let ourselves go, or we let ourselves feel like, okay, well, that other person loves us no matter what, so we can just sit back and eat whatever we want and not really take care of ourselves. And in the end, we're kind of betraying ourselves because our body is our best friend. We have to treat it with kindness and treat it well. And this is just a reminder that this is the time where you're actually focusing on the physical, you're focusing on your well-being, you're focusing on being healthy, you're focusing on not holding in all the negativity, but also the manifestation of what things look like in your life, things that you've been working towards. It's no longer up in your head, you're no longer just thinking about it. It's about manifesting it, putting it out there into the real world. So I feel like this is a really beautiful message so far. And a lot of you might be on some kind of wellness journey. Maybe now that you're no longer weighed down by a relationship, a lot of you might have been getting out of a relationship. Some of you might have been single for a long time, but this is a time in your life where you're focusing on that journey of healing, of kind of figuring out how to feel comfortable in your own skin and find that confidence. What's interesting is the Wise One shows us that you're doing it in a very unconventional way. It may not be going to the gym all the time. It may be through a different way that other people don't really know about or other people don't really get. It feels like you're defying tradition, you're defying expectations here. You're pushing the limits of what you're physically capable of. But also I could see you maybe getting a tattoo, or doing something a little wild and drastic, something that maybe other people wouldn't approve of, something that your mom might not approve of. So if you've been thinking about, whether you're going to make some changes, whether you're going to get that piercing, if you want to pierce your nipples, now is the time, okay? I feel like no matter what, this is about testing your limits, no longer doing things because you're supposed to do them, no longer feeling held down by traditions, by rules, by needing to be organized. No, this is about embracing life to the fullest and embracing your body, embracing your well-being, taking care of your health, taking care of yourself, taking care of your beauty. This card really represents beauty. It represents taking care of yourself, caretakers. A lot of you might also be on a fertility journey. This could really resonate with people who are like, I want to freeze my eggs, or I want a baby, but I also don't want to have to go through it through the traditional route. So a lot of you might realize, okay, I don't want to wait around to find that person to be a parent with. Maybe I want to have a kid now. Maybe I want to do things in a way that is unconventional, in a way that other people might frown upon, in a way that I might not be as accepted. But in this situation, it shows me that you have so much going for you, because this is no longer about what other people think. This is about how you're taking care of yourself, and whether that's making your own choices that other people don't agree with. When it comes to health decisions, when it comes to potentially parenting decisions, I'm getting maybe a lot of you are mothers. A lot of you might be caring for somebody else, and unfortunately you have to make some tough choices. And a lot of the time there's a lot of really strong expectations and heavy expectations that are on us. With the Vessel and this card here, I don't know how to pronounce the name, so I'm not going to. But these basically indicate a lot of the time pregnancy, birth, because you have this, you're carrying, this being inside you. Now, obviously, not everyone watching this is pregnant. Not everyone watching this is on a fertility journey. But for those of you who are, this is a sign to say, fuck it. This is your time. This is your time to really honor your body, honor your needs, honor and nurture what you want. Nurture that need to be a parent, nurture that need to be a caretaker, but not having to follow the conventional, traditional route necessarily. So that's a beautiful message for you. But for those of you who aren't on that route, this is definitely about really treating yourself with kindness, nurturing yourself, no longer running yourself ragged for other people, really honoring who you are. Now, a lot of you might have mommy issues or a mother trauma or motherly wound that you need to look at. A lot of you might feel like even as an adult, you're rebelling against your mother. Maybe they have some ideas about how your life should look, what they expect when it comes to love and relationships from you. But this is also about kind of honoring who you are as an individual. And instead of needing to worry about them, mothering yourself, honestly, having to take care of yourself, loving yourself. Yeah, so it's a very beautiful journey for you. This is about opening yourself up to love, embracing it, and loving yourself full-heartedly, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and saying screw it to the rules, screw it to tradition. Let's ask the cards. Ooh, the Wheel of Fortune, Ace of Rods, the Five of Cups, Ace of Cups, and then we have the Five of Rods reversed. Okay, so the Wheel of Fortune is telling me automatically, life is happening and you don't really have a lot of control over that. Like I said, there's this defiance of order, this defiance of the rules, and I feel like chaos is happening. It's unpredictable. I feel like you have very little control over what happens in your love life right now. There's a lot of unpredictability, a lot of things happening at the same time, a lot of different energies working in tandem, some working against each other. And I feel like right now is the time when things are just kind of clashing together in a good way, okay? It's like this is the time where love gets interesting, where whatever paths you're on, you're going to collide with different people. I'm seeing a lot of flirtation here, a lot of like spark, fire. There's someone coming into your life or someone new that I'm seeing really lighting you up. I'm feeling a lot of passion, a lot of excitement, a lot of maybe sexual tension. But I do feel like you're still grieving something. Now, this could be another relationship. This could be you've lost someone close to you. There is some grief going on here with the Five of Cups. And that is something you can't ignore, okay? So yes, two things can be true at once. Love is coming in no matter what, okay? You have this flirtation, you have this spark, but then you're still dealing with something deep down. And unfortunately, that's going to take some time, okay? I feel like that's going to take some time, but I see new love entering your life, you know, and that's something that you can't really decide when that happens. You know, this is divine timing. Everything is coming into place for a reason. And I feel like a lot of people are drawn to you now. They're attracted to you. There's something about you that is so magnetic. And I'm seeing that there is a new love. I also feel like there's a lot of forgiveness coming through as well. So that is exciting as well. So I feel like also, you know, there is a sense of, I don't know why, but I'm getting jealousy or resentment. It's almost like this person who you are grieving, you're feeling a sense of like anger, a little bit of anger towards them, or a little bit of resentment. It feels almost like you don't want to feel that way, but you can't help it. You know, there is a sense of, is this person doing something that I don't know about? But at the same time, new stuff is coming through, you know? You can't control it. You can't control this destiny. You know, these things are going to happen whether you like it or not. And it's about embracing these opportunities. But you also have to recognize that there's anger. I'm sensing anger. And I feel like a lot of this comes through your physical form. You're going to have to listen to your body. When you're angry, notice the physical symptoms of your anger, because that is going to say so much. A lot of the time we ignore it. We ignore when we're feeling angry, you know, but it is not something that should be pent up, because it will backfire on you if you keep it all pent up inside. So notice the physical symptoms. Notice when your blood is boiling. Notice when you feel tense, when you feel, you know, a lot of the time we grind our teeth down or we clench our jaw. How can you release that? But also acknowledge that. Don't pretend like it's not happening, okay? This is a really beautiful time for you. And I am getting a lot of good luck symbols coming through, like, you know, I keep seeing a horseshoe, which is classic good luck, right? I also see a beetle. Yeah. And what's interesting also is I keep hearing like someone saying justice is served or order in the court. So this could be like something that has to do with the law. I feel like there is energy that is just coming up that's saying like an injustice is being righted. Justice is being served. And now it's about really just honoring your own feelings. Don't let yourself, you know, get all these pent up feelings, because trauma, it doesn't just go away. It stores itself in your body. Emotions store themselves. So a lot of the things that this is also suggesting is you might need to do other techniques that release trauma, you know, that release pent up energy. This could be, oh my God, somebody's calling me, but I will take that as a sign of confirmation that what I'm saying is coming true. I feel like a lot of what is going on in your life, like acupuncture or massage or acupressure, there's certain pressure points that allow us to release tension. You might want to try breath work, but figure out what physical forms of exercise or things that you can do to release this pent-up anger. Okay, it may be something you don't want to admit, but the truth is you're not fully healed. There is stuff going on underneath it. And this is a good first step, focusing on the physical, focusing on your well-being. Oh, I do want to look at any kind of zodiac signs coming through. I forgot. Ooh, okay. So we have Virgo, we have the 11th house, and we have Venus. So Venus, Libra, Taurus, Virgo, Aquarius. So keep an eye out for these signs. One thing that this is suggesting is that you should also look into maybe volunteering at something that you love or something creative, you know, with that Venetian energy. Virgo is a sign of devotion, of service as well. So I would definitely look into this because of this combination. That might be a place for you to find happiness and feel more fulfilled at this time. And also nurture that caretaker energy, okay? So I hope that this resonates. Please make sure to comment below if you enjoyed this video, if you found it, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you'd like to book a full personal reading with me, you can on my website, zoethepsychic.com. Bye guys! Welcome to your reading group number 2. We're going to look at what is next for you in love. Okay, we have the fault line, we have the walker reversed, and then we have the hippocampus. Ooh, okay. So immediately I'm getting on shaky ground. It just feels like things are not steady no matter how much you want them to be, like a lack of stability in your life. It's like you're trying to move forward, but for some reason, every time you move forward, it just doesn't feel like you can find even ground, find footing. And what I'm picturing here, what I keep seeing is like a lake that is frozen over, and with every step, that fault line, that crack, just keeps getting bigger and bigger and wider and wider. And it's almost like no matter what you do, with every step you take, you're just making it bigger and bigger. So you can't really get anywhere because all you're doing is making cracks, right? All you're doing is stepping on this uneven, fragile ground. And we all need a foundation to be safe, to be secure on. You know, whether we are earth signs, air signs, water signs, or fire signs, no matter what kind of energy is within us, no matter how good we are at surviving or how wild we are, we all need a foundation, something to keep us steady, something to keep us stable. And right now, I just feel like that's not you. You know, with this fault line, there's a lot of scars on your heart. It's almost like you have been hurt. Maybe you have things that you just haven't really wanted to face that have never truly healed. And it feels like you need to, you know, to heal those things. You need to focus on those things. But what's interesting is with the walker reversed comes out when someone is trying so hard to move forward in their life. They're trying so hard to, you know, not look back, not stare at what's going wrong, not focus on the mistakes or the bad things. They're trying so hard to move forward. You know, they know what they want to move forward, and yet there are these cracks, these scars, these unhealed wounds that need to be focused on before they can move forward. You cannot move forward until you have healed this, until you have been able to stitch those wounds back up, okay? They have not properly healed. So unfortunately, no matter what you do, this is a sign for you to have to go back and look at the things that maybe are uncomfortable, look at what is not stable, look at what it is that is doing that, you know, and actually go after that. Because you cannot move forward until you do heal those things, until you do look at those things and fix those things. And of course, not every scar is going to be able to disappear, right? But you have to find a way to close those gaps. You can't be walking on uneven ground for the rest of your life, right? So this is a sign that I know you want to move forward, but you have to look backwards. You have to fix those things before you can, okay? This is ironic because the hippocampus is all about moving forward. You know, the hippocampus is on the move. It doesn't want to stay still. It wants to move on to the future. It has big ideas, big dreams. It has things that it wants to do, and it does not want to stay in one place. And so it's interesting that you have these opposing forces, right? This need to kind of acknowledge what's not working, acknowledge the little scars, the things that you didn't want to focus on. But then you also want to move forward. You want to get out. You want to explore. I'm seeing travel. I feel like sky's the limit for you as soon as you're able to focus on these things. So I hope that makes sense. You know, this could mean like unfinished business with somebody, or you have a lack of closure. This could mean that you need to go to therapy, you know, and it could mean that you have things to work through because of a relationship or a toxic relationship in the past. It could just mean that maybe you have things that are stopping you from really being in a healthy relationship or being happy in the long run because of your childhood, because of things that are making it hard for you to really find a healthy relationship. Either way, there's a part of you that needs mending. It needs to be healed before you can move forward and embrace this hippocampus energy, because really, once you're able to embrace it, everything is going to flow, everything is going to grow, and you're going to meet so many amazing human beings, so much awesome energy is just coming your way, and it'll be like flying, honestly. All right, so let us focus on the next part, which is the tarot cards. The Emperor. Okay, this is definitely showing me a little bit more about what's going on with you, and it makes a lot more sense. Okay, so the Eight of Wands is so ironic because it's basically so much like the hippocampus card. It's all about flowing with that energy and being free and moving forward. I love that. So many things are confirming the previous message in this. So the Emperor reversed is telling me that there were power struggles. I'm seeing somebody maybe making you feel small, or somebody being more in control, or needing to be right. And unfortunately, I feel like your confidence has taken a hit. I know I'm kind of jumping around, but I do feel like with this Six of Rods reversed, it's going to create a lack of security, feeling like you can never win, feeling like you don't have any confidence, or making you feel very insecure, you know? And I just feel like this insecurity is the biggest obstacle in your life right now. And a lot of it is due to this fault line, to these scars, to these things you still have to work through. Because once you're able to work through those things, I feel like no matter what, life is going to flow for you. Because this is what this means. It means moving forward. It means trying to let go of those things and just really going all in, embracing life, embracing love. It also means that once you do heal these things, I see love rushing in for you. I see so much love for you. Like, I feel like you're going to meet the one, you're going to meet your soulmate. This person is going to sweep you off your feet. But unfortunately, you do have something that is closing you off. And I'm getting it. It's somebody that maybe made you feel powerless. There's a sense of feeling powerless in your life and needing to get out of that, needing to embrace who you are. And I'm getting that a lot of these emotional scars and the way that you were treated in your past might have to do with that. So the connection here is that there's this powerlessness, this insecurity that is what causes you to feel like you can't get anywhere. That's why you need to heal, okay? I'm also getting with the Nine of Swords here that you are able to heal, but unfortunately a lot of this has to do with your own anxiety, your own insecurity. There it is again. And the good thing about it, I know this card doesn't seem great, right, based on the imagery, but there is a really strong lesson that you can learn from this. It's that now you know not to trust everyone, right? Now you know what to look out for. Now you know when there are red flags. Now you know that you're not going to settle for something or for anybody that makes you feel less, you know? This is your time where you're realizing, okay, that's not what I want. You know, I want someone who's empowering. I want someone who lifts me up, who makes me feel good. I need to focus on that. And anyone who makes me feel stressed or who I leave conversations feeling down, they're not for me. You know, they're not my cup of tea. I love how that rhymed. So I feel like the Emperor is just telling you, no more feeling powerless. You have to heal this. You have to get that confidence, gain that security. And what this card is saying, the 10 of Cups, which is like my favorite card in the whole deck, right? Because it represents happiness, bliss, joy, okay? It's one of the most positive cards you can ever get. And what this is saying is you need to focus on the people who do care about you. I feel like you're overlooking some really beautiful, supportive relationships. This could be family members, this could be friends, but I'm seeing that you need to cherish the people who do support you, who do make you feel good. They're the people you need to lean on right now. Yeah, sure, you shouldn't need external validation to feel good about yourself, but we need our cheerleaders. We need people who can support us, who can love us for who we are. I'm getting there's a lot of people in your life who are like that, but you haven't been focusing on them. And it's keeping you down, you know? So my advice here is to really focus on those relationships. Cherish those people that love you, that support you. And they might be people you didn't even realize cared about you that much. But you need to explore that, because that's what the cards are saying here. Explore that. Heal through the love that you have with other people. Real love. Not the kind of love that makes you feel powerless or small. That's not love, okay? All right. I also feel what's interesting is I keep getting a tiger. And what's so funny about that is that I keep getting the Katy Perry song, Roar. You know, you're going to hear me roar. Like, you need to just embrace who you are. Embrace that confident self. You know, you can't let anyone dictate who you are or dictate how you feel. You are awesome. You are powerful. You are the tiger. And let it out. You know, take some risks. Be yourself. You will get help from the most unlikely of places. I keep seeing a frying pan. And I don't know why, but that frying pan is like a weapon. And it reminds me a little bit of, I keep seeing these movies, but it reminds me a little bit of the Tangled, and how she keeps hitting him on the head with a frying pan. And, you know, she doesn't really have anything else. So it's kind of like that. I feel like you have the support in the most unlikely of places, and you can do some real damage. So you are not powerless. You are not a victim, okay? You are very much capable of moving forward and healing these wounds. And you have people in your life who love you and who support you. One other thing I want to say before we continue is that there is a stork. And I was wondering whether I should mention this or not, because storks often represent babies. So a lot of you might be looking to have children, or maybe there is a newborn in your life. This is something very important for you right now. I just feel like that. Also, it could just mean a birth. It could mean that maybe you're starting a business, or the birth of a new project or a new idea. That's what it could also mean. So for those of you who aren't interested in babies, I'm child-free by choice, but that's just something to think about symbolically, okay? Whoops. Okay, we have 7, Uranus, and Libra. I love how Libra is part of the 7th house. It rules over the 7th house. So this is really interesting because the 7th house is the house of marriage, the house of love. I do feel like love is coming through. It's coming through for you. Just make sure that you are confident and stable enough to receive that love. You know, Libra is all about searching for that soulmate. It's finding that other half, that balance, you know, and also embracing that creativity. I feel like a lot is coming through when it comes to love. And Uranus is all about eccentricities and finding things in the most unlikely of places, right? Let your weird out. Embrace who you are. I feel like there's a lot of pent up energy coming through, and that's just hindering you. You know, let your energy flow, let your love flow. Being able to be, you know, have that foundation and have that partner, that support is going to be everything for you. Thank you so much for watching this. I hope that this was helpful. I'm very excited for you in your love journey. Remember, this doesn't necessarily have to do with an ex. You know, it could, but it also has to just do with you feeling powerless and needing to feel that power, needing to feel like you are capable, you know, feel like you are stable and secure in yourself. So that is the message coming through for you here. Let me know in the comment section below if this resonated with you. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel and help it grow and flourish just like the hippocampus. And also, don't forget to book a reading with me if you would like to. If you want to, you can just go to my website, zoethepsychic.com. I have pre-recorded readings and live readings. Bye! Welcome, group number 3. Here is your reading about love and what is in store for you. We have the Dead End, the Pathless reversed, ooh, and the Fairy reversed. So the Dead End is telling me that what you have been doing so far has not been working. I feel like you are hitting that dead end. You have hit a wall. I feel like no matter what you do now, you're not going to get anywhere if you continue on the path you're on. It feels like it's not that you don't know where you're going or that you can't get anywhere. It's that the way that you keep going is not working, okay? It's a dead end. You need to back it up and kind of figure out what other direction to take. Now, this actually is giving me vibes of, this could be multiple things in your life. It doesn't necessarily have to do with love. But when it comes to love, it might be that you have been really trying to find love, and for some reason you keep hitting a dead end. Like it's just not working for you. It's the way you're going is not, you know, it's just not going the way you want. Like it keeps kind of going out of your control, or you keep falling short of what you want. And I see here with the Pathless card that it's not that you don't know where you're going. You don't know what you want. It's that you, for some reason, it feels like there's so many different ways to go about it, and you just really don't know how. It's almost like you have these ideas of what you want, but you just have no idea really how to achieve it or how to get there. And when it comes to love, this could mean like you've been, the way that you have been trying to find love, like you kind of know what you want in a person, you know what you want in life, but it's just like it hasn't been going that way. It feels almost like there's so many different paths you could take, and there's just a lack of organization. Like you don't really have a plan. You're just trying to wing it, and it's just not ending up the way you want it to. And the Fairy reverse is telling me that there's a lack of belief in yourself. Maybe you've lost a spark. You've lost what made you want love in the first place, or what made you want that thing in the first place. Because I'm getting a lot of you might be feeling this in your career. Like there's a dead end, like things aren't working out in your career. Maybe the avenue that you're trying to take has not been going the way you want. And it's not that you don't know what you want to do. It's that you just don't really have that plan, or you're not organized enough to figure it out. And with the Fairy, it also has to do with maybe that thing that you thought you liked, maybe you just don't really believe in yourself anymore. Maybe you don't believe that you're capable. Maybe you don't believe that this is the path for you anymore, but you don't want to admit it. There are a lot of different options for how this reading can be interpreted, but the overall energy is the direction you're going in is not getting you anywhere. You might know what your direction is. You might know what you want, like what the end goal is, but you don't really know how to go about it. Perhaps there is a lack of organization, a lack of a plan, a lack of, a structure that you need. Some of you might need to go back to school, or you might need to try to work on other things before you're able to achieve that. The truth is, the direction you're going in just isn't working for you. It's just not the path for you right now. It doesn't have to mean forever. It doesn't mean give up, but it means you might have to go back to the drawing board or create another step-by-step process. A lot of the time, people who are doing this have this really strong vision for what they want, but they don't know the steps to get there. Now, this could mean dating and finding love, right? They don't really have an idea of how they want to do that. Are they going to go on the dating apps? Are they looking for something in particular? They just kind of are putting themselves out there and hoping to get that person that they dream of, but it's not actually coming to fruition. And the truth is, a lot of these things require effort and work, and a lot of us just don't really want to put in the steps to get there. Now, we all want that kind of fairy tale love, but it looks like your passion, your belief in yourself, it's kind of like you see it more as a fantasy at this point. Perhaps you were doing something for a career that you thought really made you happy. Maybe you thought that this was the thing that you had always dreamed of doing. And so you keep trying to do it, but for some reason you just have lost a lot of faith in yourself. You've lost the ability to believe in yourself. And you've lost that fun. There's no fun to it anymore. What is that about? You know, and also dating, when you think about it, dating should be fun. I know I'm kind of bouncing back and forth here, but I just feel like this could apply to a lot of different things for you, not just love. So when it comes to dating, though, there is this fantasy that we have, this person that we think would be perfect for us, but it needs to be fun. We need to have a good time. You know, it can't just be like you're a drill sergeant and you're just doing it because you need that person. You need to have a good time along the way and really have that inner child wonder. You may have felt like a loss of creativity, a loss of passion or joy for the things that you used to care about or the things that were fun. So you need to really focus on these things. It does show that you're struggling in the direction you're taking, but there are a lot of ways that this could be turned around and a lot of ways you could work on this, okay? I hope that makes sense. It's kind of like a roundabout, but there were so many different paths that I could take in reading this. So, okay. I love that Page of Rods. Page of Rods, wandering through the desert, not really knowing what they want or where to go. That's so similar to the message we have here. And it looks like also your family might be influencing your direction. I'm automatically seeing that. You know, with the 10 of Pentacles reversed, it's like, it's almost like you want to please them, but they're against what you really want. Maybe you have a passion or a career choice that they don't really get or they're not really into, and they don't really want you to take that route. But you also can't please everyone, right? You can't please them. It also could be that they want you to marry a certain person, or they want you to pick a certain type of partner, but that partner may not be the one for you. You know, I feel like it's going against your family, going against the people that are supposed to nurture you and support you. For some reason, I'm sensing a lack of support. It's like they don't fully approve, or they don't fully, it's like you don't want to introduce them to the person, or you don't want them to see what you're doing for a living because they might not get it. There's some kind of lack of approval here, lack of acceptance. So you're going to have to figure out, why is it that you're wandering the desert? Could it be that the lack of direction is coming from you internalizing what they're saying? You know? The Queen of Swords is telling me that there is a fierce independence to you. I don't know if you have an avoidant personality, but I'm getting that you're someone that's really intellectual. Maybe you like having conversations, you're smart. You know, this could represent someone in your life who you kind of are holding out for, but they're also very independent. But a lot of you will feel more like, okay, I'm single. You know, the Queen of Swords is notorious for being single because they're kind of loners. They're very smart. They don't need anyone to be happy. They just kind of do them, you know, and it's not a bad thing. But you would need the right partner for that. A lot of the time, the Queen of Swords does meet their person, but they end up meeting them later on in life because they focus so much on their career now or their other paths. So that's something to think about is your individuality and independence, is it becoming like a shield for yourself? Are you keeping yourself isolated? How can that help you? You know, it might feel like you don't fully have an open heart because you have all these ideas. Maybe you're picky. The Queen of Swords is also a very picky person. So that's something to think about. And the Strength card does show that no matter what, you have the ability to really fall in love very deeply. Because what happens is, with people like the Queen of Swords, they'll say, I don't really want a relationship, or I don't really know what I want, or maybe I'll just hold out and wait for this one person. And then sure enough, they love fiercely. When they love, they're all in. When they love, they do not hesitate, you know? But the problem is if you don't have a good direction or a good way of going, like a way of going, what does that mean? If you don't have like a path that you're on, sometimes when you get into this deep love, you get lost in it. And you're so into it. It's so intense that you forget kind of where you are. You forget about the rest of your life. You lose who you are. You lose that independence from the Queen of Swords. And that can be scary, you know? What I do feel here with the Three of Wands is it's like you have to be careful not to ignore your life lessons. I feel like there's a lot of the time when you have made a mistake and you just haven't really learned from those mistakes. And that's part of the reason why you're in this situation in the first place. You really need to learn from your mistakes. Learn from the moments where you fuck up. Learn from that failure. Learn from those moments when things don't work out for you. Part of it is actually learning from your missteps. Okay, so that's what the card is telling me here. You're not going to grow if you don't start learning. If not, you're just going to go in this roundabout perpetually. Like it's never going to get you anywhere. You're never going to get love the way you want. You're not going to find that passion. You're stuck, you know? Whether you like it or not, you can wander and wander around the desert, but the truth is you are not getting anywhere. And it doesn't matter how much you know where you're going. It's like if you don't really know what to do about it or what steps to take, you're not going to get anywhere. So we'll see whether this applies to you or not, but I keep seeing like someone pointing at you like that, you know, like almost like do it. Like it's trying to signal you out, to tell you something. I don't know if that resonates. And I also keep seeing this seahorse. And it's interesting because in my previous reading with group number 2, I did focus on the hippocampus, which is very similar to the energy of the seahorse. It's somebody who is moving, who's kind of trying to move forward, right? But I also feel like if they're not getting anywhere, then what's the point? You know, it's that same energy of constantly swimming in a circle, chasing your own tail, you know. The seahorse also represents family. Perhaps this family energy is something you really need to look at. How much is your family influencing your decisions, your path? What are they adding to your life? Are they helping? Are they hindering? What is it? I want you to think about how much your family influences you and your pathway. Whether it's in love, whether it's in career, whether it's in happiness, whether it's just in general. There may be things that you need to revisit. And I also feel like someone is watching you. I don't know if it's your family. It feels like I keep seeing eyes blinking and seeing you. And it's really important for you to acknowledge that. I'm not saying someone's stalking you or something like that. I mean, the eye can represent a lot of different things. It's very powerful in Egyptian mythology. It also can represent your third eye, maybe trusting your inner wisdom, trusting your intuition and your psychic senses. I feel like there are a lot of things you might be suppressing here that could actually help you and guide you forward. Either way, you're very strong. There's very little that is actually hindering you besides this energy here. So keep that in mind. I'm going to roll some dice. Okay, so we have Pisces and Aries. Ooh, okay. What I'm getting is this is a past life cycle. I feel like this is something that is karmic, that is coming through. Whenever I get a node, this gives me like karmic energy. This could be something that has been going on through lifetimes. I feel like you really need to write this. You need to figure out what your path is. Really organize yourself. Find some order. Learn from your mistakes, okay? And then we have Pisces and Aries energy, which are very opposing energies, right? This could also be a Pisces, Aries cusp, someone born on that cusp sign. But I feel like these are energies you need to look out for. And the first house is all about the house of self. What are you doing with yourself? Like, who are you? I feel like you really need to work on maybe your identity. And with Pisces energy, it's like, where are you escaping? It's almost like your life right now is an escape. It could feel like you're procrastinating. It might feel like everything is just a pipe dream. I need you to look further into this energy and keep an eye out for Pisces. Pisces is a beautiful sign. And they're the kind of sign that can really help someone like the fairy believe in themselves and fantasize and be creative. And they're very intuitive. So focus on that intuitive energy. Good luck, group number 3. I hope that you enjoyed this reading. And make sure to subscribe and comment below if you enjoyed it. What happened? Did this resonate with you? I want to know. And also book a reading with me on my website, zoethepsychic.com. I offer pre-recorded readings as well as live readings, so you can check out what's there. And yeah, have a wonderful day. Okay, group number 4. Here we are. So we have the Vow, the Shepherd reversed, and the Rainbow Snake. Ooh, what an interesting combination. The Vow is all about the contracts that we make, right? The promises. I'm getting a lot of like divorce energy or breakup energy. It might feel like you've made promises to someone. You might have felt like you had to keep up with promises even when that person wasn't with you anymore. It's almost like this feeling of like devotion. Vows are what tie us down. They make things concrete, right? They are promises. They are really serious things, okay? And I feel like a lot of this is giving marriage or needing to uphold promises made to other people, because the Shepherd reversed especially is all about trying to devote so much to other people when really you're not really celebrating yourself. And what I'm getting is that you have been making promises towards other people. Maybe you've been trying to be very devoted, loyal, no matter what situation you're in, whether you're divorced, separated. This could even be to your family. This could be to your children. This could be to your fiance. I don't care. The point is that you've been making a lot of promises that you have to uphold when really you haven't been prioritizing your promises. What have you promised yourself? Why are you upholding things that you've said to other people over yourself? So right now, what I really want you to do is think about, what promises have I made to myself? And what unspoken promises am I making to another person? And a lot of the time we do make unspoken promises. We don't necessarily say them out loud. Like, we could have a friend and we don't need to say, I promise to be your friend, or I promise to always stand up for you, right? Because that's an unspoken thing when you're friends with someone. You are loyal, you're devoted, right? But we don't really make a lot of these promises towards ourselves. So I want you to get really intentional, and I want you to think about, okay, how am I showing up for me? What am I doing for myself here? Am I prioritizing my duties, my promises, my responsibilities, my, vows to another person? What about me? What do I need? What do I want? And the rainbow snake is all about creativity. It seems like you have a really strong potential to create something magnificent in your life. I feel like you have an artistic spark within you, and this is your time to create, okay? This is not your time to be held down by responsibilities, by contracts, by promises. I keep seeing that broken ring, like a divorce happening, or a separation or breakup. It feels like some vow has been broken, and now you have to start doing what's best for you. Stop putting so much energy into other people and actually start embracing your creativity. I feel like now is the time when I see creative projects really taking off for you. People really seeing how authentic and beautiful and colorful you really are. The rainbow snake has a lot to do with communication. There are a lot of unspoken promises, unspoken vows, a lot of things that we're not saying. This is the time to speak up, okay? This is the time to communicate your needs, communicate these things to other people. What do you promise yourself? And how can you prioritize those things? How can you stop putting all your energy into other people? I'm just getting that this is the time to celebrate you. I'm seeing a lot of new travel situations. Like, I feel like you're going to be exposed to another culture. I feel like this could have to do with learning another language. This could have to do with just traveling overseas. But you have a story to tell, and now is the time to tell it, okay? Whether that's through writing, whether that's through, like a TED Talk, or whether it's just through painting or doing some kind of artistic endeavor or dance. There's lots of different ways to communicate creatively about your life and about yourself, and it's time to celebrate that. So that is the energy I'm getting. There's a lot of strong divorce vibes. Okay, let's see how else this might be showing up. Bam, bam, bam. We have the 5 of Pentacles, the 10 of Swords, both reversed, the Ace of Swords reversed, the King of Rods, and the 6 of Swords. Wow. Okay. Now this is interesting because I'm getting divorced. Okay. I'm getting trying to pick up the pieces after a really dark, intense time. It feels almost like you lost everything, and now it's about learning to navigate those situations and learning to pick the pieces back up. It may have felt like you hit rock bottom, like you almost felt like things were just, that was it, your life was doomed, like you didn't know what to do. But luckily, there's always a light at the end of the tunnel, okay? And it wasn't the end. This was a major moment. You're a survivor. You've been through a lot. Clearly, you have been through a lot, and you're not someone who takes life for granted. I feel like you have a lot of very serious energy where you know that when you are there for someone, you're there for someone. And I feel like you have been through the ringer, okay? There's also this 5 of Pentacles energy, which is showing me that you may have moved recently, or you may have had to kind of make a lot of changes or sacrifices to your situation to make it work. But I feel like love is finally coming back into the picture for you. This has been a healing moment. Okay, I'm seeing you healing. I'm seeing you kind of figuring out who you are. You could have been dealing with some kind of identity crisis after losing something or losing someone. It feels like you have crashed and burned, and now you can stand up, okay? I am seeing painful words. This could be you lashing out and saying something like mean or harsh, or it could be someone else hurting you with words. Maybe you had some kind of confrontation, but I feel like there is conflict here that hasn't been fully resolved. So I see some kind of altercation, confrontation. There is definitely something that requires clarity, and it does feel like maybe you communicated, but it wasn't in the best way. With the King of Rods here, it shows me that this is all okay, because at the end of the day, you're finally in charge of your life. There's finally a sense of power that you have been able to gain from all this. I know this sounds crazy, but there is a sense of like, maybe you can start your own career or your own business. I feel like you're in charge now. You decide what you let in and what you don't let into your life. And I feel like the past is still very much a part of your life. It feels like the past is just hovering over you, and you're still not completely rid of it. In fact, with the Six of Swords, I feel like this is the time for you to not really... Look, you are healing, okay? But this is not the time to just expect for things to just move forward. This is about healing, and this is about like acknowledging the past. It does feel like things are kind of progressing, but slowly, okay? This is a time of transition. It's a transition period. And it doesn't mean that things are going perfectly, but I do feel like things are looking up for you. All this energy here, it's these reversals. It shows me that things are progressing, and I feel a lot of warmth coming back into your life. Like the worst has passed. You're currently in a stage where you have some bitterness. You know, I feel like there's some kind of altercation or some kind of conflict, confrontation. It may not be completely over, but I see you healing. I see you moving forward, and I see you having the strength, having the energy and the power to do you, to be this creative soul, to jumpstart your projects. You don't need anyone else to do that. I feel like you have the ability to be a leader here, to take the lead. I'm also getting that there is someone who is very powerful, who is maybe your ally. I see this person being able to take charge and really help you. Maybe they pull some strings, maybe they are able to help you move forward. But I feel like for you, it's not really about looking for new love. It's about learning to accept who you are and feeling empowered in who you are. And I keep hearing April. So I don't know if that resonates with you. Maybe there's a birthday in April, maybe something exciting in April's happening, but that is what I'm getting. Let me see if I can learn some more about this King of Rods here. Wow, okay. That makes a lot of sense. That Aries energy. This person could be an Aries, they could be a Pisces, and they could be a Gemini or Virgo with that Mercury. I feel like a lot of the stuff that's happening is unspoken. It's subconscious. And a lot of the healing that is coming through is going to be things that, you know, are coming up from the past. Things that are mentally like challenging you. I feel like there also might be an impact on your mental health. And that's something you need to look into. You know, maybe you need therapy, but the battles that you're facing with that Aries energy are not, it's not completely over. You know, that doesn't mean that it's going to get worse. In fact, I see it getting better. But you have to figure out what promises you're still holding on to, you know? I also feel like I'm seeing a forest. I don't know. It's like you're walking through a forest. It could be that you're lost in this forest, but this also might be a call to you to actually get out in nature, take a walk, really convene with the trees and the birds and the nature. It just feels like things are not clear for you yet. You know, there's still fog in front of you. You're still navigating your way out this storm. And it's going to be okay, but leaning into your creativity and really focusing on yourself and not that person you made a promise to is going to help you. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you would like to book a reading with me, you can on my website, zoethepsychic.com. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel and comment below if you enjoyed your reading. Let me know if it resonated or if you hated it. I would love to know. Ta-ta!